we need to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers in this offseason. So far this offseason, the Los Angeles Lakers have spent $261 million on 4 players. Those 4 players being Walker Kessler, who signed a 4-year, $130 million extension, Quentin Grimes, a 4-year, $60 million, Sandro Mamu, we're just going to call him Mamu, $52 million over 4 years, Colin Sexton, a 2-year, $20 million deal, and then they also just traded for Jaden Hardy for DeAndre Ayton to the Wizards, along with 2 second-round picks they acquired to come off the bench. And it's got to be said here, what is Rob Pelinka thinking? If I'm being honest, they are just throwing money away at this point, I would say. They really, let's just start off first with Walker Kessler, okay? So you look at Walker Kessler, here's a guy that over the span of his career, he's dealt with injuries. Just look at last year. He only played 5 games because of a shoulder injury. Granted, the Jazz were bad, but even his second year, he dealt with injuries, and third year. And we're looking at a guy that is a 14-10 type of guy. He does have somewhat of a 3-point shot, maybe based off of what we saw last season. He shot over 75%, but that was only on 8 attempts. So there's not much you can really say about that. And he was off to a good start field goal percentage wise. I will say, for Luka Doncic, Walker Kessler's a pretty good fit for him at center. I think a lob threat and just somebody who overall is going to be able to catch lobs, like I just said, and, play pretty well down low. But is he really what did the Lakers really need to spend $130 million on him? I don't know about that. And his health is a big question right now. Along with that, they also spent a whole bunch of money on the Austin Reeves extension. They gave him $185 million. So there's even more money that the Lakers are just throwing at the table right now. And it's very interesting to see how they're going to go about the rest of this, because at this point, it's very clear that they're trying to build a roster suited to Luka Doncic, but it's not a very good roster, if I'm being completely honest with you. Right now, your starting lineup is looking like Luka, Austin Reeves, Quinn Grimes, Jake LaRavia, and Walker Kessler. That does not sound like a scary team. Sure, Luka, you got to watch out with Luka, but LeBron James leaves now in free agency too. And it's just really like question marks in the air. This is how they decided to spend their money. Mamu is a career 7 points per game type of guy. He had a kind of like a breakout year this year in Toronto, averaging 11 and shot over 50% from the field on that. But as someone who's, to give him $52 million for 4 years is kind of a lot, considering he's only shown really 1, maybe 2 seasons-ish of this consistent play. And the Raptors is a completely different situation than the Lakers. And then you look at Quinn Grimes, who obviously Quinn Grimes, when he first got over to Philly, there was a lot of expectations because he was going crazy last year after the trade. He's averaging 23 a game, something like that. And then you look at this year, he was a little bit more disappointing. 3-pointer wasn't falling nearly as well. And overall, his just scoring input really went down. And he really wasn't nearly as good of an option there on offense as he was the year before. Along with that, he's not really a playmaker. And for somebody, I guess they're not really going to be necessarily needing a playmaker with Luka and Austin Reeves in the backcourt. But really, after that, you got Colin Sexton coming up as the 6th man. Colin Sexton, I like Colin Sexton. I think he's a great 6th man. I think he's a great, player to come off the bench. But Colin Sexton hasn't played competitive basketball his whole entire NBA career. He's never been on a team that's made the postseason, and you're going to expect him to be your backup point guard in this situation with a team that realistically, is just not deep at all. You got Vanderbilt still on the bench. You got Kennett, and they drafted Cameron Carr, of course. But besides that, It is a very thin, a very limited team. And on top of that, they've just completely limited themselves with the type of money they've given off this offseason. And I really don't know how they're going to progress forward. Not to mention they got Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard both go in separate directions, which were pretty key pieces for them. Um, it's just, I really don't know what the Lakers are going to try to do. I mean, this team, I just feel like you got a player like Luka Doncic. You need a more depth team. And the reason I'm so crucial about all of this right now is right now they're at 192 million. The cap, essentially, what the second apron is set around 221 million. So they're at 192. They can sign basically maybe they're going to have to go for, not the best quality players here to fill out the rest of the team. And it's just, I don't know how spending over 30 million on Walker Kessler, 15 on Grimes, Vanderbilt's still making 12. He's not even really that good of a player when it comes playoff time for them. And now you're paying Mamu based off one season of consistency over 12. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to see what they go through with this. And I can't really picture the Lakers as a threat next year going into next season. I mean, I guess there is still a lot of time here, but I had to go on here and rant about this because I'm not the biggest fan of the Lakers offseason so far. And I think they are in trouble for next year.